Hi everyone, I'm Theo and this is the ground and pound from Lusithand devices. Now the ground and pound does something pretty cool in my opinion. It takes Justin Chancellor's Distortion tone, he's the bass player from Tool, and puts it in a single pedal. And it packs quite a bit into it considering you've only got 4 controls. The concept is this: Justin Chancellor uses a turbo rat with a Boss EQ placed after it to get his kind of signature distortion tone. And that is one of the things that the ground and pound is doing. Now, if you've seen my video on the Turbo Rat itself, then you will know that I think it's actually one of the best stock distortion pedals for bass players that isn't designed for bass players. It has a pretty flat frequency response, which for me is great on bass. Now, the ground and pound steps it up a notch. So, you have got a distortion control for gain. You have got an EQ control, you have got a mix control, and you've got an overall master volume. Now, what's really interesting here is that the mix control blends between your clean signal and your distorted signal, but the clean signal has some really light compression on. Like, I believe looking at the website, it's a 2:1 compression ratio. So it's not going to be overly compressed, but it's just going to do a little to, I guess, smooth out the dynamic difference between your clean tone and the distorted tone, which I think is one of the key things people need to think about when they're implementing clean blends into their signal chain or into their pedals. I think a lot of the times why a clean blend may not sound good is because you've got a dynamic range of a bass guitar clean signal, which goes like that. And then when you try and blend it in with a distortion signal, which is heavily compressed, the clean tone kind of pokes out. It doesn't sound like it gels well together. So I think the fact that Lusithand devices have put compression on the clean signal goes a long way to help that out. If you like this video, then please drop me a like. If you want to see more pedals played on bass, then subscribe. If you have Instagram, come follow me on Instagram. So, of course, one of the other things I like here with the blend is active. So you can actually just set this all the way to clean and boost the volume just to have a lightly compressed clean signal if you wanted. But, you know, then you're not using a lot of the other features of the pedal. So one thing I really do want to mention is I was given this by Lusithand Devices. I bumped into Nuno and we were talking pedals, and he offered me a ground and pound, and it's one I've had on my radar for quite a while. I just hadn't taken the plunge, so I'm really glad that I could get one. It's a really cool pedal in my opinion, but I want you to be aware that I was given this. I didn't buy this. Okay, there was no contract in place where I have to do a video and do all this. I'm just doing the video because I want to do the video, and Nuno and I kind of know each other, so I got a pedal out of it. So the opinions here are my own, but I did not pay for this pedal. One of the things I really like about the ground and pound is that because of the way the EQ and the blend and all that works is, as well as just getting big distortion sounds out of it, you can actually kind of dial it back in a way that gets you just like additional presence onto your bass tone. So if you feel that, I don't know, you like your tone, but you just want a bit more attack to just cut through, busy mixes, this is actually a great pedal for that, in my opinion. I could actually see the ground and pound being an always on pedal if you wanted a kind of lighter, just additional presence there. As I understand it, the Boss style EQ isn't tweakable with this EQ control. That's another EQ control. The Boss style EQ is essentially a bit of a smiley face. So the Turbo Rat circuit hits the EQ, which boosts the lows and boosts the attack around the 1-2 kilohertz range, and then goes into the overall EQ. And then is blended with the lightly compressed clean tone here. So really, there's a lot going on with this pedal, but I found it really quite easy and intuitive to dial in because there's only 4 knobs, and the last thing I want to be doing when I'm playing live or when I've got a larger pedal board set up is to be tweaking around for days just to find a tone that works. Now, with the sort of built-in Boss EQ boosting at that 1 to 2 kilohertz range, it is great for cutting through, providing presence and attack to your signal. But as well, that can sometimes be a bit too aggressive. So the EQ control does a really good job of boosting the low end or boosting the top end and just smoothing things out if you need it to. But there is a kind of inherent kind of aggressive tone to the distortion, which I believe comes from both the Turbo Rat and of course the nature of the Boss EQ. I'm ever so grateful to Lusithand Devices for giving me a ground and pound. I've had it in my sights for a while. I love Tool, as I'm sure many of you do, and to get something like this is great. And as I said, it condenses down. You know, you've got your Turbo Rat, your Boss EQ, you got clean signal with some compression on, condense it down into a single device. What did you think of the ground and pound? Have you tried one? Have you got one? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments. And I will catch you next week for another review. Take care. Bye.